Are you ready, Gillian? Now heading to the back room.
Welcome back, by the way.
Welcome back, yeah, sorry. Welcome back to another exciting episode.
The final episode.
The final episode of Snatcher.
Possibly, maybe, yes. Naked people. There's a naked lady. You have to censor that out, Dave.
The Snatcher's culture and room. The mechanism is operating. Gillian, there are Snatchers with their artificial skin already installed here.
Luckily, those bubbles are covering
These units are nearly ready to perform a complete snatch.
Snatch.
This is where they fuse the artificial skin onto the Snatcher's endostructure.
How would you know?
First, they adjust the size of the still skinless Snatcher to the size of the individual who is to be snatched. The Snatcher's overall shape and size can be adjusted by expansion or contraction of sizing rods. Their sex is controlled by gender units, which are installed at this point. Then, the face is modified to match the intended victim by adjusting the size of the upper and lower jaw, cheekbones, temporal bones, and tooth alignment.
Just like Gibson said, that means there are limits to the size of the people that they can snatch.
That's right. The limits of the mechanism mean that they can't snatch children, the elderly, or people who are very tall or heavy. And this is where the artificial muscles
That's why I put on so much weight recently, so I can't be snatched.
It appears to be coated with a type of
Must
plastic
make
gel
myself
full of mechanical
fat.
Like human muscles, it creates mechanical energy through chemical reactions. And this is where the artificial skin is attached.
Oh, it's
In order
gross.
to prevent the synthetic cells, developed using biotechnological protein design techniques, from rejecting the inorganic material below, they attach it gradually over a number of days.
And this is the stuff that gets cancer if they stay out in the sun too long.
Finally, they attach body and scalp hair. The process involves transplant of synthetic hair follicles as well, so the hair will grow back if it's lost.
What about scars or birthmarks?
It would appear that they make those adjustments at this point in the process, as they would for wrinkles to simulate age.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Would you like the little school lesson of how a Snatcher is made?
Yeah.
A computer terminal is installed in each preservation cylinder.
Let's turn them all off.
These terminals must all be connected to a host computer which monitors conditions inside each of the cylinders. These cylinders are used to culture the Snatcher's artificial skin. Endostructures are submerged within them. It appears that weak ultraviolet rays are being projected from above. This is really advanced, way beyond anything we saw at Queen's Hospital. Looks like they got no guards or anything anywhere.
Yeah.
The whole area is protected as a clean room. There is a door at the far end of the room. It's locked, but I should be able to open it from this side. There is no sound except for the soft bubbling of the liquid in the cylinders and that annoying beeping sound. The power is on. Look at this, Gillian. The data of people to be snatched is being neatly processed.
So this is where the whole thing begins. The endostructures arrive here from the Kremlin. Then they convert them into copies of their victims. And finally, they head out into the city using the old subway system.
With artificial skin maintenance being handled at Queen's Hospital.
But who's behind all this?
Gillian, look at this. There are some finished Snatchers over here.
Cool.
Get a load of this. The U.S. President, the Prime Ministers of Japan, and the U.K.
Who's this handsome devil?
Gillian, you're in here too.
Look what I did to my penis.
Figures. They were looking to snatch every VIP at the summit.
I've got a
And the
10
last
pack.
traitor, you. It definitely looks like they plan on moving out beyond Neo-Kobe.
If they were to snatch every major world leader, they'd practically be able to control the planet. Still, that's odd. With their flawed skin, pulling something off like that would really be difficult.
Chin said they had found the key to developing a perfect artificial skin. Maybe they've already produced it.
No idea. But the number of snatchers here makes it clear that they're up to something new.
Gillian, this is definitely their nest. We should destroy everything.
Not yet.
Spashy
Not until we
smashy.
found Jamie. Metal, how much time do we have left?
2 minutes.
The summit should have begun by now. We don't have much time. And once our legal privileges are suspended, I won't be able to help. In fact, I'll be forced to restrain you.
Good luck, little guy.
If the military wants to avoid nukes and goes for a surgical strike on this facility, what would they likely use?
Probably a phased particle beam from one of the attack satellites.
A phased particle beam, huh? That'll wipe this complex right off the map.
Everything, including the soil, will simply evaporate. The attack will leave just a large crater.
Metal, can you convince them to give me another hour? Even 30 minutes will help.
Understood. I'll try my best.
And I'll try to find and rescue Jamie in that time.
I can't transmit here due to interference from the Snow 9. I'll have to leave the area and then send the message.
Oh, then.
All right,
We've got
do it,
some
Metal.
fucking army in now.
Gillian, don't forget. 30 minutes. You must get out before then.
I understand.
Gillian, I'm sorry I couldn't help you better.
Don't worry about it. I'll be able to move faster by myself anyway. 30
So
minutes
close.
should be plenty. Go, Metal.
Yes, sir. Don't forget. 30 minutes.
Yes, you've said it 7 times.
Just 30 minutes, dude. It'd be great if there's a little timer appeared up. It'd be like,
30
Didn't
minutes.
cutscene last longer than 30
This is
minutes.
gonna be tight. That room's the only place left to check.
He just goes,
Let's take a
oh,
look.
this is top belt. Oh, this is belly fell out. Thank God Metal's gone.
Here we go.
You did! I was like,
Fucking hell.
you're doing it,
What's up with
David!
that?
That
You're
was like-
doing it!
One hit left.
All right, let's open the next door.
Shit.
I wish you could have seen my face of just, oh, he's doing it! No!
Doesn't look like there's anything here. Whoa!
Drops his gun. No! How's it going?
The second one's much easier. The
guys are
first
tough.
one's like...
Of course, I didn't exactly
Should
expect
have
them to
counted to
welcome me
see
with
how
open
many
arms.
people you killed.
Okay.
How many
Let's
I
snatchers?
try
definitely had the
this
record
next
above random now.
Yeah, above
Screw
anybody.
random.
Random who, eh, Dave?
I just killed about 50 snatchers.
Ah!
Shoot, shoot, shoot. You can actually get an alternate ending if you shoot.
Yeah.
Don't get too trigger happy.
Jamie, are you all right?
Gillian, you came for me.
Are you
Yeah,
hurt?
I wasn't going to.
yeah,
No,
well.
they won't lay a finger on me. Not until the new artificial skin is completed anyway.
Snitches.
Artificial skin research? You?
Gillian, I've got my memory back. All of it.
What happened? Tell me, Jamie.
They said they'd kill him. They said they'd kill Harry. They forced me. I had to help them with the skin development. They said I had to help them because the professor was ill. Wasn't getting any better. Gillian, the engineer Harry, he's our son. He's been living on his own now for 50 years.
Jamie, I'm afraid that Harry's...
There was nothing I could do. They forced me. But I can't do it anymore.
Jamie!
The professor, he just died. He was over 100.
The professor? What? This old man?
This whole thing?
This hunk of
So
Don't
rotting
you
flesh.
remember?
Poking his
It's
face.
Professor Modner. Professor Petrovich Modner.
What?
Who's Petrovich
This
now?
old man is Modner?
He's been confined here for 3 years now, just to develop the Snatcher's artificial skin. Terrible. Doing that to your own father.
He's
Whose
not my
father?
is he?
Jamie, I don't have any idea what you're talking
What
about.
are you blabbering
I'm
about?
so
You can't
confused.
remember, can you?
No.
Jamie, tell me who I am. What were we doing at the Kremlin?
Are you sure you really want me to, Gillian? It's all
Actually.
so awful, but if you must know, I'll tell you. Try to remain calm, okay? 56 years ago, you and I were involved in a top-secret Soviet project. It was still during the time of the Cold War. The gulf between East and West was as wide as ever. Everybody was worried about nukes. At that point, the world's armies were at their largest ever. Leaders still believed that a strong military meant a strong nation. There were rumors that there would be an agreement to end the production of nuclear weapons. On the other hand, the major powers like the US began to get involved in a space weapons race. But not the Soviets. The conservative despots in the Kremlin had another, completely different idea for gaining military superiority. A horrible plan, something no one else would think of. At that time, the countries of the communist bloc were facing an economic crisis. Popular movements pushing for democracy were springing up all over. Communism itself was facing extinction. Facing pressure from the reformers, the Kremlin began to panic. And that's when that horrible, childish plan was launched.
And that was the Snatcher Project. Replace your enemy's leaders
that
with
was
puppets of your own. Then you control their governments, their economies, take
It's
over
a
a
childish
country
plan.
from
It's
the
fucking
inside
amazingly
out.
clever.
I wondered when the politics
That's
stuff
right,
would come in.
Gillian.
This is a Hideo Kojima game.
And to develop these robots, they assembled some of the most brilliant scientific minds from around the world.
They're not
Some
robots,
Some of them were even
Jamie.
brought in against their will.
They're bioroids.
At the crux of that development effort was a group called the Frankenstein Project Team. You and I were
Still
members of that
guns.
team, Gillian. It was a 4-person team led by the late Professor Modner here. The robotics expert was Professor Modner himself. His son, Elijah Modner, handled genetics and microbiology. For nanobiology and picobiology, myself.
Pickles.
And for behavioral
Pickles.
science and psychology, you, Gillian. Early development was carried out at a lab in Novosibirsk,
I'm
but was
smart.
later moved to
I
a
make
secret
Snatchers
facility
cool.
under the Kremlin. At the time, the Glasnost and Perestroika movements were gaining momentum, and they rightly feared for the
Gillian's
existence
eyes
of
are
the
starting to
program if
glaze
it should
over.
You just see
become
blood
known.
come out of his nose.
But some of the
I have no
reformers
idea.
did learn of the project, and they conspired with the US to block it. Gillian, you were a CIA special agent sent by the United States to infiltrate and sabotage the project.
I was CIA?
Yes, and the government knows
American?
that. That's why you were assigned to the Junker team.
What? Who am I?
Junkers?
Work on the
Gillian's
project
agent,
continued to go smoothly.
Except CIA agent, I just told you.
Just told you.
But then, on June 6th, 1996, there was that accident. A mysterious explosion at the Chernobyl facility spread a bacterial weapon that was under development there into the atmosphere, destroying the country and the project. Gillian, was it you? Did you set off that explosion?
What? You can't be serious. You think
Good
I
stuff.
caused the catastrophe?
I caused the catastrophe and destroyed half the world's
And our son
population.
Harry managed to get out by American agents. But we couldn't get out in time. You and I and Elijah. In a shelter below the Kremlin, we entered a cryogenic sleep.
Freeze him,
Our
eh?
plan was to sleep there until the toxic effects of the bacteria were safely passed.
And then 48 years later, 3 years ago, we were discovered by the 17th Special Investigative Force.
Yes, but when they found us, Elijah's pod was already empty.
Ba-da-ba-da-boo.
Elijah Modner? That guy whose picture was in the church? The one that looks like random?
She's like, who's random?
Who the hell's random?
That's right, Elijah is alive. Elijah is here and working on the Snatchers.
Why don't you let me finish your little story?
Whoa.
Who's there?
It's been a while, hasn't it, Jamie? Ah, yes. And Gillian.
Clint Eastwood?
It's me, Jamie.
Elijah? Is that really you?
Oh, you're so old.
Random? No. Not quite.
So you
Oh,
remember me,
Gillian.
do you? I am Elijah Modnar, the only son of Professor Petrovich Modnar. I'm afraid I've grown somewhat old and feeble since we last met, however.
Elijah, why are you doing this? Your father, Professor
How does he
Modner, he
move?
just...
What's
passed away a few
up
minutes
with your
ago.
legs?
What? My father? My father is dead.
Elijah, what...
Gillian
What
just
happened
put
to
a
you?
blaster bolt through his head.
The Elijah I knew could
out
never
what's
do
going on.
anything like this.
I've changed,
Still on your
Jamie.
legs.
These 40 years have changed me.
I can't believe it. What happened to you?
What happened to me?
I got old.
Jamie, do I actually have to explain it to you?
Yes.
Jamie, it's you. Your beauty is the cause of all that has come to pass here. 57 years ago,
So there we go.
I was
Women are
obsessed
causal.
with my research,
Catastrophe,
yes,
snatchers.
and with you, Jamie.
Well,
At the time, I was still young, having just
continued the
graduated
Snatcher
with my
project
genetic
because of her.
engineering degree.
it's all right.
Jamie's
Those
fault.
connections
Kids
got
have
me on the
dumb
team,
judging.
and there, I met you. You were working as my father's assistant. Your beauty, your smile, I was stricken. I saw something in you that I never felt with women of my own country.
Boobs.
You warmed my cold, young heart, Jamie. You opened me up.
So is he meant to be
I
Russian?
couldn't stop my feelings.
They did
Elijah,
with that Russian accent, didn't they?
Oh, I was so
He had to do
happy.
a Russian accent.
The
They should
political
have done it.
situation was crumbling around us, but every day was a joy. I gained my father's trust, and with you there watching over me, I was able to work as hard as I ever have on the project. However, my happiness did not
We've got a
last
sad
for
feeling a
long.
bit, in a sense.
Is he wearing a name tag?
Gillian,
Yeah,
it was
I don't know
you.
It's like,
You showed up and
why?
all was ruined.
why. The snatchers need to know who I am.
Arrived and joined our project team. Far from home, Jamie found
Someone
comfort
cooler than me.
in a man from the same land. Your relationship grew quickly, and all I could do was stand by and watch. Jamie and Gillian fell in love, were joined, and even had a child.
Harry.
Children.
Even then, my feelings for you only grew stronger. Worried about me, my father tried to have me removed from the project, but I persisted. Jamie, I always wanted to be near you. And then, the democratic movements that had consumed the rest of the Eastern Bloc spread to our country as well. The Cold War was over. The hardliners who had pushed for its development were stripped of power and the project was cancelled. The reformers, trying to cover up the existence of such a crazed project, ordered that all materials related to it be destroyed and that we stand trial for our actions. Jamie and Gillian were to be returned to their homeland. That's about the time that I learned that you, Gillian, that you were a CIA agent, and that you were trying to pass documents on our research to your military.
I was
The
CIA?
country had sold
Right.
us
That,
out.
that image of Gillian is the one I use for a lot of
I'm
my
no politician.
profile pictures.
I couldn't care less
He
about
looks so bad.
what happened to the country.
Interesting
All I
insight.
cared about was my research and Jamie. And I was to lose all of that,
I
everything.
like old boy from the manga.
For someone so young, you cannot understand how great of a shock that was.
Elijah.
That
Elijah copied
is when I
Gillian's haircut.
decided. I swore I would see that secret crazed project through to the end. At the time, the bioroids were 80% finished. The main part, their endostructure, was essentially completed. But we still were having trouble with the artificial skin, the area that
Still
Jamie and
are.
I were assigned to. We called it artificial skin, but there was of course no need to duplicate T lymphocytes, Langerhans cells, or endocrine cells. All we needed was keratinized cells and melanocytes to provide the pigment.
I wonder if all the
artificial
stuff he
protein
says is
development
actually
techniques that we had in those days,
like
small
or just
scale
gobbledygook.
synthetic cell
So.
development
Yeah.
was very difficult.
Someone watches it and says,
Research
like,
like this took
what he's saying is
years.
absolute bullshit.
The original project called for us to simultaneously snatch an entire country. In other words, a whole nation, or an entire city had to be snatched over the course of one night. For that reason, a powerful biological agent, which could quickly and effectively kill the population of the country, was being simultaneously developed.
Pictures have done really, really well. They look a bit stupid.
Lucifer Alpha.
I think they're
That's
different
right.
artists for different scenes.
RAO
'Cause
11
even
virus
some of the
which
actual,
another team was developing.
you know,
For someone
picture
like myself, who was
profiles are
closely involved in the project.
better or worse in
Blowing up
quality.
the lab was quite a simple task.
Just looks a bit like.
My
so
God,
goofy.
Elijah, do you know what you're saying?
Point
That
of the game.
explosion killed half the world's population.
I moved all the materials and records essential
for
to
you.
the
I'm
Bioroid
impressed.
project into the shelter and
It's got to have
executed
some
my
sense.
plan on June
Good,
6th.
nice.
After sealing off the lab,
That's
I
better.
brought the two of you with me to the underground shelter, and we entered a cryogenic sleep. But not before I programmed an atmospheric research satellite to transmit a wake signal when the danger from Lucifer Alpha had passed.
And 10 years later, Lucifer Alpha naturally mutated into a non-toxic form.
But the
I know
automatic
things.
revival system failed to work.
No, it was.
Oh no, it worked. Just as planned. It revived me 10 years later. A little sooner than the two of you, of course.
But even though you sealed the lab with the explosion and everything, you should have been exposed. Why weren't you?
Oh, I was. But by that time, the vaccine L Angels had already been developed.
So everything went just as you planned it then.
Yes, up until that point. But my real struggle was yet to come. My original plan was to revive Jamie as well, and for the two of us to finish the development of the Bioroids. You, Gillian, you were to stay asleep forever. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not after looking at Jamie's peaceful face
Do
there
you
in
think
the
Jamie would have
pod.
noticed?
Besides, I could never have convinced her to work with me on the project anyway. I knew the time was not yet right, so I changed the timers of your pods to permanent on.
How? How could you do such a thing?
Oh, just
And
turn
so
it
for the
down
next
and-
40 years, I worked alone in that cold and lonely room under the Kremlin, trying to complete the artificial skin for the Snatchers. For days
Oh,
and days,
boo,
no one would
fucking
visit me.
boo.
I never saw the sun or felt the changing of the seasons.
Kids there.
Still,
Steals violin.
I always had Jamie by my side. You were always there for me to talk to.
I jerked
Just
over your
you
sleeping
and I.
body so many times.
In that dark cellar.
Oh, you
Don't give me
poor
that. He's
man.
just in love with her. He also
Yeah.
fancies her, you know, physically. So
Oh god, yeah.
he's not just going to
3
watch her and
years
see
ago,
if he
my
can go,
research was
no,
finally
Totally
complete.
tanked
just going
out.
to go and...
First, I snatched the Siberian Special
But he
Investigative Forces
jizzed
to
on,
establish a transport route for
every
the
time.
Then, to test the effect of
His tube is
large-scale
covered in
snatch
some
operations,
weird
I chose
hard
Kobe
goop.
City to be my experimental sample. Neo Kobe is cut off from the surrounding areas, a sort of miniature country in itself.
Could have snatched
making
Jersey.
a perfect
It looks like that
test
place in
site.
Blade Runner. You
And
know that
since it's a
film?
melting pot of
Fucking
various
great film.
races, it would also allow me to gather extensive data on Snatcher modification and operational techniques. In addition, the element of suspicion or mistrust, which runs deep in Japanese culture, was another reason I chose this site.
But your test revealed a critical flaw in your machine's artificial skin.
Yes, quite unexpected, I'm afraid. All my research for 40 years. I gathered data and worked day and night to find a solution, but nothing seemed to work.
So that's why you decided to bring Professor Modner here, right?
That's correct. I discovered my father in one of the government's hospitals. He was old, but still very sound of mind. Naturally, he would not cooperate with me.
Of course not. He'd never become involved in something like that.
So, unable to receive his assistance, I decided that I had to have yours. But a mistake on my part allowed both you and Gillian to be taken into custody by the authorities first.
Just what are you trying to accomplish, Elijah? You must know you can never get Jamie back.
I'm only interested in discovering what I can of the human animal. In the past, It was because of Jamie. My motive is different now.
It sounds like you're just suffering from the wild arrogance that corrupts so many scientists.
Humans are such weak creatures. No matter how much they trust one another, the tiniest speck of suspicion can destroy it all. Look at how the Snatcher problem has caused such wild unrest. No matter how much science advances or how high we set our ideals, we eventually begin to suspect each other, to hate each other,
like a
then
thing.
to kill each other.
Gillian,
The
you had a
Snatchers
30
are
minutes
nothing
on
more
it.
than a tool for bringing out this
I hate to
reaction.
rush you,
I
Martha,
am
but
simply using the
Wait a minute.
Snatchers to elicit the true nature of the human animal.
he's backing towards the door.
I think this experiment has shown me the limits of human society. I sincerely doubt it will be able to reach any greater level of prosperity on its own. If human society ever hopes to reach greater heights, what is needed is an absolute leader, a firm ruler who isn't affected by these trivial episodes of mistrust.
You're crazy if you think people would ever obey Snatchers.
Of course they wouldn't. But if they don't know, they cannot object. There has been a time in every age that the people have longed for a god to lead them. As long as they give the people no reason to suspect them, then they can easily become their gods. Indeed, a new race of super beings. We are almost there. Once we perfect the artificial skin, Snatchers will transcend man to become this planet's true human beings.
But you'll never get your perfect skin now. Professor Modner is dead.
I no longer have any use for my father. I have a sample of the new skin he developed. Once I've analyzed it, I'll be able to make as much as I need. Or if need be, we could simply culture the keratinized cells, epithelial cells, and melanocytes in the quantities that we need.
What now?
What are you talking
Yes,
about?
I just
How could
think-
you get a
what
sample
are you
of
talking
perfected
about?
artificial skin?
Why
What are you
don't
talking
you
about?
take a look at this? We found this in the rubble of Queen's Hospital.
What is it? I know that guy. It's Modner.
Looks like red.
Random.
No, not quite.
Oh, an acquaintance of yours?
Yeah.
He's a Snatcher?
That term isn't exactly accurate. This bioroid was constructed by my father without my knowledge. He modeled it after me in my youth. He built it right here in this facility. And not only that, he programmed it to destroy Snatchers. This
He was good.
bioroid
That was
caused
good.
me
Really good.
serious difficulties. It's designed and built far better than my Snatchers. The machine itself thought it was human. My father input memories for it all the way back to childhood. Those too were apparently mine.
Apparently.
Haven't you yet realized? Random Hajil is Elijah Modner spelled backwards.
I knew it.
How like my father, silly old man. He did virtually overnight what I could not do in 40 years of effort.
So you're a loser.
Furthermore, he makes a bioroid so perfect, even the bioroid itself believes itself to be real.
Wow.
What's more, the cells of the skin he developed are self-replicating. Once in place, no further transplants or culturing is necessary.
Is he dead?
Its main and locomotive systems are completely shut down. It's just scrap now. But the artificial skin is being kept alive. This we need. With
The
this,
fact that he's built
we can
better than
move
your
to phase
Snatchers.
And the fact that
He's got this
his
scrap.
eyes-
full-scale
Open and
infiltration
green is
of the
looking at
world's
me.
major nations.
The summit's already over. You'll never succeed.
What does the summit matter? Nothing holds us back now that we have this perfect skin. We can go anywhere we want, and there will be no way to tell us apart. I will have free control over the world. Nothing will be able to stop me. Politics and free thought will no longer have any meaning. My will alone will decide the course of human history.
Crazy old man.
Egomaniac. Do you think you can snatch the entire population?
There's a fully automated Snatcher factory under the Kremlin. Even as we speak, scores of new Snatchers are being born.
But no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to snatch the people's heart and soul. What do you hope to gain from this anyway?
Jamie, the human race is composed of fools. But I'm different. I will be its savior. Indeed, not just of mankind, but of all life on the planet.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Metal!
In 10 minutes, this church will be struck by a phased particle beam. I am guiding the beam from the attack satellite using GPS and 15 navigational satellites. The beam cannot miss. Everything in a 2 to 3 kilometer radius from me will be destroyed.
Stop this foolishness now. I will not have my research destroyed by some souped-up pocket calculator.
Pocket calculator?
What happened at the summit?
So I just
The delegates, worried about the Snatcher menace, voted unanimously to allow the use of nuclear weapons on the city. The military is presently imposing a quarantine on Neo-Code.
What? Do they intend to kill everybody?
The populace is in a state of panic. However, they have
Time
a
bomb!
quarantine if this church is struck by the phased particle beam. This is our last chance. I will handle things here. Gillian, Jamie, you two must flee.
Okay, let's go.
Insignificant
See ya.
mass of metal. You will never...
One move and I detonate. Gillian, run!
Metal, this is crazy!
We can't let a single Snatcher get out of here. And this new artificial skin has to be destroyed as well.
I will not allow some talking scrap pile to get away with this. If you were the aiming point for the beam, then I'll just have you thrown out of here. Grab this little one and take him out of here.
Yeah. Oh no. Don't worry, I killed like 18
Metal!
Cowardly little robot.
You always were a real pain in the butt.
Yeah. Should have smashed the glass and then spoke.
Animation!
How did... You're supposed to be deactivated.
I don't go down that easy, old man.
Stop this foolish...
Shut up! Let's try to make our final moments peaceful, shall we? And you Snatchers, you touch the little guy and the old man's head comes off.
Random!
I've always hated
Very
being
Nielsen
used.
style.
I wanted to watch the final act with me.
Gillian, you only have 5 minutes. The turbo cycle is just outside on standby. Use that to flee.
Gone to
Let me
say goodbye.
go. I'm Elijah Modner. I'm your original.
I don't care if I'm an original or a copy or what. You and I are gonna die right here. If we both die, there won't be a copy anymore now, will there?
Why is he having to
The
struggle?
stupid logic of a simpleton, of a machine.
Whatever it is, it's my will!
Machines have no will. Machines cannot sacrifice themselves.
We'll see about that.
You have 4 minutes. You must go. And don't forget to take care of the factory under the Kremlin.
I think it talks some more.
Stop!
Gillian, even if these memories in my head are fiction,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I
Our
love you
memories
too.
of our time together are all too
What?
real, Random.
Gillian, you've become one hell of a junker.
Gillian,
Always
it
love
has
you.
been most recreational being your partner.
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
Metal!
I hate you.
If you can, try to pick up the pieces for me, okay?
Nope.
Like we did for Little John.
Little John?
Oh.
Okay, Metal.
We didn't pick up any
You only had 3
pieces.
minutes.
Thanks. Thanks, you two. Jamie, come on.
Thanks you guys, and you old man. Thanks, I guess, for stuff. See ya.
Bye, Snatchers.
I wasn't listening to anything you said,
Don't
by the
let
way.
her go. No!
You pathetic old fool. You don't even know how to love someone.
You stupid machine. What is that idiotic grin supposed to mean?
By snatching you, I'm finally gonna get my real self back.
What?
Random. There's less than 1 minute to go. Thanks
Wonder
to
what
you,
that was about.
everything will be fine.
You don't owe me any thanks. Sorry to get you involved in such a big job. You did great. You're a hell of a junker.
Kid.
3, 2, 1, here it comes!
Metal's
Later,
happy
kid.
to be blown up.
Oh, maybe my calculations were wrong. Kira.
And can't we had to see him get killed twice?
Thunderbirds? One of the things they fucking rip off in this game.
So you're really going, aren't you?
It's our responsibility, too. Besides, if I go to Moscow, I may get some of my memory back. And if that happens,
Remember you.
I'll be able to love you even more than I do now.
Oh, can't
Wait for me. I want to be with you, but first I've got to destroy this terrible factory of theirs.
I want to be with you, but I've got a date with Mika
Jamie,
first.
when I get back, let's try living together again. What do you say?
I'm kind of seeing this guy.
Right.
He doesn't answer me.
We'll be waiting for you too.
Oh shit, my side chicks.
Me? You're here too?
You better
I
be
don't know
happy,
these people.
Buster, with all
I don't know who these are.
I don't know who these people are.
I'm happy you came.
His arms around
let
her.
me introduce my wife.
My wife.
I suppose it's a little odd introducing myself a second time, though.
What do you mean? You've never met them before, have you?
Having orgies
What are you
with that?
talking about, Gillian? We're
We
good
orgy all the
friends.
time.
Since when?
Since
It's the first time
forever.
I've met her in person, but I've spoken with her on the video phone a lot of times.
So just
What?
webcam, that's fine.
Have you guys been talking about me behind my back?
No.
Damn, you egotistical bastard. We
You
didn't
guys have been
mention
talking
you
about
at
me,
all.
right?
That's all we talk about is you. Trying to learn more about you was what got our relationship started. I was telling Mika about how lonely it was being home alone all the time, and she told me that Jamie was always worried about me, so I gave her a video call.
She told me to fuck off.
Before I knew it, we really became close, didn't we?
Jamie told us to stay away from you, but...
Our relationship has gone beyond just being friends.
Oh!
Beyond just friends. Sounds pretty good to me. Don't be stupid, Gillian. You have a warped mind sometimes, you know. What do you mean when you say beyond friends? I mean, what does that mean? With even Alice gone, I was really lonely.
Oh, Alice! Oh, God!
I'm really sorry you had to be reminded of that.
Oh!
Katrina.
Why?
They're both so easy to talk to. It's like I've got two real sisters now. Not those
that's
fake
what you
ones
meant.
that
My fake biological sisters.
they're just like family to me now.
So, that's what you meant, not sexual.
I don't care if you get your memory back or not. Why?
Because I'm
Because
divorcing
getting your
you!
memory back will mean that you'll remember those things about me that you hated. Things that I hated? What are you talking about? Dealing with each other's imperfections is part of what being married is all about, Jamie. Gillian. Don't worry. No memories will change how I feel about you.
Till I remember them.
That time I remember that you cheated on me 6
Yeah.
times. I'm really sorry for all the worry I've caused you. This kid has had such a rough time. She lost almost everything practically overnight.
But I still would.
She's done a really great job. I owe her a lot of thanks.
I still would. Man, I guess I
Thank
have
you,
to.
Gillian. It's good to hear you say that.
So have they finalized what they're going to do about junker operations? I
Disband.
suppose this will end up being our last mission, huh?
Well, originally they were planning on disbanding the team, but now they've decided to keep us in business.
So that means...
That's right. We've been designated as one of the government's special police divisions. That puts us above the regular cops.
So the government has decided
License
that
to
crime
kill,
by
right?
machines poses a bigger
Suck
threat
it,
than
regular
crime by
cops.
humans from here on out, huh?
They've chosen the new chief, too. So when you
He's
get
a
back,
Snatcher.
you'll get to
Is it
meet
a
the
woman?
new head honcho.
Well, it's comforting to know I've got a place I can come back to.
What rank did I get?
That's it. No need for anybody else to turn up and ruin this.
Have a safe trip, Colonel Seed.
Well
That's good. That's
done.
quite high. I've actually found a list of the rankings, so I want to see where a Colonel actually ends up
Yeah,
being.
well done, Colonel Seed.
What? Me a Colonel? This I can deal with. For a military man like me, it's quite an honor.
Whatever you do, just come home safe, okay?
Oh, totally coming over.
When you get back from this job, you still have a dinner date to keep with me, you know.
Sure.
Don't worry. I won't forget my promises
Jamie's
to
right
either
here.
of you. Oops, almost forgot. Of course, I want to spend some private moments with my wife, too, huh? What's wrong, Jamie?
Every now and then, not all the time.
Harry and I will be waiting for you to get home.
That's Harry's hat.
We can do it this time, Gillian. Not
Really?
some fake couple like before,
Oh my god.
but with love and trust.
Has
I
no
know,
one told her that Harry
Take
got
care,
killed?
Gillian.
I'll see you, Jamie.
After I've slept with all the whores. Oh dear god, no.
Please.
You?
What the fuck is that?
Metal?
Yes, sir. We didn't have a good frame to work with, so this is just a temporary body. Just call me Metal Gear, Sega CD for now.
So, they found your memory chip in one piece, eh?
It's a shame.
Random protected it from the blast of the beam.
Ow.
Random, huh?
Random, huh?
Wait a second. I've heard that sneeze somewhere before.
Really?
Yeah, chicken boy.
Anyway, I want to know if you'll take me with you. Please, Gillian.
Just case it,
Please
no.
take me with you.
Hurry up and get on board,
I've got
partner.
no
Yes,
functions.
sir,
So no.
Gillian.
Can I play Snatcher on you?
No place on edge or two on you. Seriously, this ship trips on. She gets blown away. I really hate it. Come on, girl. Let's go back to my place and fuck. Thank God he's gone. They all just suddenly like stand up straight. Mission most successful. Oh my god, they're all statues.
Throughout history, suspicion has always bred conflict.
I'm glad the voiceover guy came back.
The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts.
Parts. Oh.
This conflict has just begun.
But then we never got any more, so...
We'll never find out what happened to Gillian and his ventures to Moscow.
I doubt Hideo Kojima's gonna make this kind of another game like this now. It's not complicated or crazy or weird enough for him.
I just think it won't happen solely because I believe that this is probably just... This now belongs to Konami. And
Yeah.
now he's left, it's like, well...
He's no way. He's
Even though you created it, it's still our property, so it's...
Yeah.
I mean, I know from having worked for companies, you do the creative stuff. I've created artistic pieces of work, but it's still the company's.
Yeah,
Even
no,
though you
completely.
did the whole thing, it's not yours. It's kind of
You're employed by them and you're using their resources, so it belongs to them. I mean, the
They
problem
pay me
is-
to do it, so it's theirs.
The problem is
Even though I
nowadays
did it,
if Konami ever did like another version of this,
it'd be
I
shit.
think- yeah, it would be shit. I think it would only work as a visual novel. They'd have to do it as a visual novel. And
If I ever became like super massively rich, like as in like I mean like stupid rich, like 150 million pounds or something rich,
you'd buy the rights.
I'd see about buying the rights
I wonder if
to certain things. I'd buy the rights to this game.
To the rights
I'd buy the
games?
rights to Tekken Man,
Yeah.
and then I just pay someone to, just for my own sake.
Do you think the rights end?
I don't know how it works. It probably doesn't even work like that. Like you buy the rights from someone, but you must be able to buy rights when Disney buys the rights from.
Yeah,
other
other
companies.
other publishers take over the rights of games and produce games. Like look at what's it called, that Metal Gear Revengeance. That was done by a different. It was done by one company. Then
It was done by
moved to a
Platinum.
moved to a different company, SD. And yeah, so it's like I guess the rights.
If I had shit loads of money, I'd buy the rights to Snatcher, Tekken Man. I'd also somehow figure out a way of getting Tales of Vesperia made into English properly.
Jeff Luperton, great voice actor. Lucy Child's fantastic as Metal Gear.
It's one of those things, like, this
Random
game came out in 1994 and has voice
All of these
acting,
guys are still working.
voice acting that to this day holds up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, literally 2 years after this, we had Resident Evil.
With the best voice ever.
Do you know what I mean?
Suzanne Millie, Kimberly Harney.
I do like Jeff Luperton does Snatcher voice as well.
Ah.
I liked
Napoleon. P-Worm. Can you superimpose my name with that? Jim Parks. And come on for your job, Jim Parks.
the guy who did Elijah Mother, he had a good voice.
He did Jean-Jacques Gibson.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
There's pretty
Elijah
much only about
was
4
Ray
voice
Van-
actors in the entire game.
Ray Van Stein. Ray Van Stein, what's that sound? Jim Parks also did Ivan. So pretty much all of the roles that I did of his, he did as well.
Literally has about 4 or 5
Ray
voice
Van Stein.
actors.
Yeah. Oh, Harry. I like that chunky hat. Lucy Childs. Ray Van Stein was the narrator as well.
Get that harmonica going, man.
Ramen guy was Ray Van Stein. Yes.
Fortunately, we never found
Yeah, we
Fortune
didn't
Teller.
do that. Susan.
Not a complete playthrough.
Sorry, we missed the Fortune Teller. Special thanks to Peter Welland.
The last junker for playing this game again.
Yeah. I love that picture of Jamie with her hair going like that. It's like, wow. I'd love to capture a photo like that. I love that coat. I wonder if it's probably like with
And Katrina showed her leg.
Katrina doing some proper model posing.
Notice in this picture there's like, they don't care about Metal Gear. He's not a main character.
That was it.
That was our playthrough of Snatcher. One of my favourite games of all time.
Yeah, I think that's the only time we'll do it.
Really?
Probably the only time we'll do it. It was good. I really enjoyed playing that through again. Watching you play through again.
Watching me.
And getting fun to do some of the voices.
So that's it, folks. Thanks for
coming with us on this journey.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I keep saying like and subscribe, but it's like we get no likes and no subscribes, so it's kind of like I'm saying it, but it's like, you know.
We play these games because we want to play them.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do it anyway, so might as well record.
That's it. Fuck it. We might as well record it.
Bye, gang. Bye, Gillian. Bye.
Don't get snatched.
Don't get snatched.
We'll have to junk you.
See you in the next series, whatever that might be. Bye.